The morning sun streams through the window, casting a golden glow on my desk. My phone buzzes insistently, dragging me away from the pile of paperwork demanding my attention. It's a message from Jason, my childhood friend. "Check this out." "Urgent," reads the text, accompanied by a series of images. My curiosity piqued, I tap on the first image. What I see next sends my heart plummeting to my stomach. Are photos of my wife, Anna, engaging in acts that I never imagined she would commit. She's with Jason's father, no less, a man I respected deeply. Naked and entangled in compromising positions, the images are unmistakable. "No, this can't be real," I whisper, scrolling through the images, hoping that they somehow transform into something benign. But they don't. The shock of betrayal wraps around me like a suffocating fog. "Hey, man, you there?" Jason's next message jolts me out of my stupor. I call him immediately, my hands trembling. "Jason, what the hell is this? Are these photos real?" Jason's voice is grave. "I'm afraid they are, Matt. I stumbled upon them on my dad's phone. I didn't know how to tell you, but you needed to know." I struggle to form words, my throat tight. "And your mom? She loves him so much. How could he do this?" Jason sighs heavily. "I don't know, man. But we need to do something about this. We can't just let them get away with it." The betrayal cuts deep, but Jason's resolve gives me strength. "You're right. They need to pay for this." We spend the next hour formulating a plan, our anger and sense of betrayal fueling our determination. Revenge isn't just about getting back at them, it's about making them understand the gravity of their actions. By the end of our conversation, we know what we need to do. That evening, I confront Anna. The house feels eerily quiet, the air thick with tension. She's sitting on the couch, engrossed in a TV show, completely oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. "Anna, we need to talk," I say, my voice a controlled monotone. She looks up, puzzled by my serious tone. "What is it, Matt?" I hold up my phone, displaying one of the damning photos. Her face drains of color as she stares at the image, her eyes widening in horror. "Where did you get that?" she whispers, her voice barely audible. "Does it matter?" I snap, unable to contain my anger any longer. "How long has this been going on?" Tears well up in her eyes, but I'm beyond caring. "Matt, I can explain," she starts, but I cut her off. "Explain? Explain what? That you've been cheating on me with Jason's father?" "There's nothing to explain, Anna. It's over." Her sobs fill the room, but I turn away, disgusted. "Pack your things and leave. I can't look at you right now." Jason and I meet the next day, our shared anger solidifying our resolve. Jason's voice to make sure everyone knows what they've done. We decide to gather more evidence and create a plan that will leave them no room to escape the consequences of their actions. We spend the following weeks meticulously collecting information. We record conversations, gather more photos, and even manage to capture video evidence. It's a painstaking process, but our determination keeps us going. Finally, the day comes when we're ready to execute our plan. We organize a gathering at Jason's house, inviting close friends and family. It's a casual get-together on the surface, but the underlying tension is palpable. As everyone mingles, Jason and I exchange a nod. It's time. We step into the living room, drawing everyone's attention. Jason clears his throat, silencing the room. "Thank you all for coming," he begins, his voice steady. "There's something we need to share with you." I take over, holding up my phone to display a slideshow of the damning evidence. Gasps of shock and disbelief ripple through the room as the images and videos play out. Jason's mother, Carol, collapses into a chair, tears streaming down her face. Jason's father and Anna stand frozen, their faces pale. They stammer out weak denials, but the evidence is irrefutable. The room erupts in chaos, accusations flying, emotions running high. "You betrayed us," Jason says, his voice thick with emotion. You betrayed your own family. Carol rises, her expression a mix of hurt and anger. Get out, she says to her husband, her voice trembling. I don't ever want to see you again. I turn to Anna, my own pain evident. You too. Get out. We're done. As they leave, the weight of their betrayal hangs heavy in the air. But amidst the chaos, there's a sense of justice served. We've exposed them for who they truly are, and they'll have to live with the consequences of their actions. Jason and I share a look, a silent understanding passing between us. This is just the beginning. We've taken the first step in reclaiming our lives from the wreckage they've caused. And we'll make sure they never forget the day they betrayed us. The days following the confrontation are a whirlwind of emotion and chaos. The shock waves of our revelation rip through our social circles like a tornado. News of the betrayal spreads quickly, and Jason and I find ourselves at the center of a storm we can barely control. At work, colleagues whisper behind my back, their sympathetic glances barely concealed. I can't escape the constant reminder of Anna's infidelity. Jason faces the same scrutiny, his father's disgrace casting a long shadow over him. We decide to meet at our usual spot, a small cafe on the outskirts of town. It's a quiet place where we can talk without interruption. As I enter, I see Jason already at a corner table, a coffee cup clutched in his hands. Hey, I say, sliding into the seat opposite him. How are you holding up? Jason looks up, dark circles under his eyes. Barely. It's been hell at home. Mom's a wreck, and Dad, well, he's not welcome anymore. I nod, understanding his pain. Anna's staying with her sister. She's been blowing up my phone, but I haven't answered. Our conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Lisa, a mutual friend from college. She's always been a no-nonsense kind of person, and her presence is a welcome distraction. Hey, guys, she says, sitting down with us. I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Lisa, Jason says, managing a weak smile. It's been rough. Lisa leans in, her expression serious. Listen, I might have some information that could help. I've been doing a little digging. Jason and I exchange a glance, curiosity piqued. What kind of information? I ask. Lisa pulls out her phone, scrolling through messages. I have a friend who works at the same law firm as your wife, Matt. Apparently, there's been some suspicious activity with her accounts. Transfers of large sums of money that don't make any sense. My heart races. You think she's involved in something illegal? Lisa shrugs. Could be. Or maybe she's just trying to hide something. Either way, it's worth looking into. Jason frowns, his mind working. And my dad? Anything on him? Lisa nods. Same deal. Unexplained expenses, secret meetings. It's like they've both been living double lives. I feel a surge of anger. We need to find out what's going on. They're hiding something bigger than just an affair. That evening, we gather at Jason's house to plan our next move. Carol, Jason's mother, joins us, her eyes red from crying but filled with determination. We need to expose them for everything they've done, she says, her voice shaking with emotion. They've torn our lives apart, and they don't get to walk away unscathed. We spend hours poring over the information Lisa provided, mapping out connections and identifying key players. It becomes clear that Anna and Jason's father, Richard, are involved in something much more sinister than we initially thought. We need more evidence, I say, frustration evident in my voice. Something concrete that we can take to the authorities. Lisa nods. I can keep digging. I've got some contacts who might be able to help. But we need to be careful. If they realize we're onto them, who knows what they'll do. The next few days are a blur of covert operations. Lisa uses her connections to gather more information, while Jason and I try to maintain a facade of normalcy. It's exhausting, but our determination keeps us going. One evening, as I'm sorting through some files at home, my phone rings. It's Lisa, her voice urgent. Matt, I found something. You need to see this. I meet her at the cafe, where she hands me a folder filled with documents. As I sift through them, my eyes widen in shock. This is huge, I whisper, barely able to comprehend what I'm seeing. The documents reveal a complex web of deceit, with Anna and Richard at the center. They've been embezzling money from their respective companies, laundering it through offshore accounts. It's a criminal enterprise that goes far beyond infidelity. We need to take this to the authorities, I say, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger. They need to pay for everything they've done. Lisa nods. I agree. But we need to be smart about this. If they catch wind of what we're doing, they could disappear, and we'd never see justice served. We devise a plan to present the evidence to the authorities without tipping off Anna and Richard. It's a delicate balancing act, requiring careful coordination and absolute secrecy. One evening, as we're finalizing our plans, there's a knock at Jason's door. We freeze, exchanging worried glances. Who could that be? Carol asks, her voice tense. Jason peeks through the window, his face paling. It's Anna. Let me handle this, I say, stepping towards the door. I open it just enough to see her face, her expression a mix of desperation and regret. Matt, please, she pleads, tears streaming down her face. I need to talk to you. It's important. I hesitate, but then step outside, closing the door behind me. What do you want, Anna? She looks around nervously. I know you've been digging into my affairs. I can explain everything, but you need to listen to me. My anger flares. Why should I believe anything you say? You've lied to me, betrayed me. I know, she says, her voice breaking. But it's not what you think. Richard, he's dangerous. I got involved because I didn't have a choice. Her words catch me off guard. What do you mean? Anna glances around again, her fear palpable. He threatened me, Matt. If I didn't go along with his plans, he said he'd ruin me, ruin us. I didn't want any of this. My mind races, trying to process her words. Could she be telling the truth? And if so, what does it mean for our plan? Come inside, I say finally. You need to tell us everything. As Anna recounts her story, we listen in stunned silence. Richard's manipulation runs deeper than we ever imagined. He's a master manipulator, using fear and threats to control those around him. We need to take him down, Jason says, his voice filled with resolve. For good. Anna nods, tears still streaming down her face. I'll help. Whatever it takes to bring him to justice. With Anna on our side, our plan takes on new urgency. We work tirelessly, gathering the final pieces of evidence, preparing to deliver the knockout blow. The stakes are higher than ever, but we're determined to see this through. As we finalize our preparations, there's a sense of unity and purpose. We're not just seeking revenge, we're fighting for justice, for our families, and for the truth. The day of reckoning is coming, and we'll be ready. The morning sun filters through the curtains, casting a soft glow on the living room where we've gathered. The weight of our mission sits heavily on our shoulders, but there's no turning back now. Anna sits with us, her eyes red from tears, but filled with determination. Jason, Lisa, Carol, and I are all present, each of us focused and ready to take the final steps. We need to move quickly, Lisa says, her voice steady. I've contacted my friend at the FBI. They're willing to help, but we need to present everything in one go. No mistakes. Anna nods. Richard will be at his office today, wrapping up some business. It's the perfect time to catch him off guard. Jason clenches his fists, his anger barely contained. We can't afford any slip-ups. This is our only chance to take him down. We spend the next few hours organizing the evidence, double-checking every detail. Lisa's contact at the FBI, Agent Thomas, has agreed to meet us at a neutral location to review our findings. It's a risky move, but we're running out of options. The drive to the meeting point is tense. Jason and I sit in the front seats, while Lisa, Anna, and Carol are in the back. The car is filled with a heavy silence, broken only by the occasional nervous comment. "Do you think they'll believe us?" Anna asks, her voice shaky. "They have to," I say, gripping the steering wheel. The evidence is overwhelming. There's no way they can ignore it. We arrive at the agreed location, a quiet park on the outskirts of town. Agent Thomas, a tall man with a stern expression, is waiting for us. He nods as we approach, his eyes scanning the area for any signs of trouble. "Let's see what you've got," he says, getting straight to the point. Lisa hands over the files, her hands trembling slightly. It's all there. Embezzlement, money laundering, and evidence of coercion. Reckoning is coming, and we'll through the documents, his expression growing more serious with each page. "This is substantial," he says finally. "But we need corroboration. We'll need to bring Richard in for questioning." Jason steps forward, his jaw set. "Do it. Whatever it takes." The plan is set in motion. Agent Thomas coordinates with his team to prepare for Richard's arrest. We're instructed to stay out of sight, but the tension is unbearable. We gather at my house, our nerves frayed as we wait for news. Hours pass, each minute feeling like an eternity. Finally, the phone rings. It's Agent Thomas. "We've got him," he says, his voice filled with satisfaction. "Richard is in custody. We're interrogating him now." A collective sigh of relief sweeps through the room. Carol breaks down in tears, the weight of the past weeks finally crashing down on her. Jason wraps an arm around her, his own eyes misting. "We did it," he says softly. "We finally did it." But the victory is bittersweet. Anna still faces the fallout from her involvement, and the scars of betrayal run deep. There's relief, but also a lingering sense of what has been lost. The next few days are a blur of legal proceedings and media frenzy. Richard's arrest makes headlines, the details of his crimes splashed across every news outlet. Anna's role is scrutinized, but Agent Thomas speaks on her behalf, explaining the coercion and threats she faced. She's cooperating fully with our investigation, he tells reporters. Her testimony is crucial in bringing Richard and his associates to justice. The support helps, but Anna's guilt is palpable. She spends her days working with the authorities, providing information and helping to unravel the complex web of Richard's operations. Jason and I do our best to support her, but it's clear she has a long road ahead. One evening, as we're all gathered at my house, there's a knock at the door. I open it to find Detective Harris, the local officer who's been helping with the case. He's holding a stack of documents, his expression serious. "I've been looking into Richard's connections," he says, stepping inside. "There's something you all need to see." He spreads the documents out on the table, pointing to various names and transactions. Richard wasn't working alone. He had partners, some of them very powerful. They'll do anything to protect themselves. The room falls silent as the implications sink in. Our fight isn't over. We've taken down Richard, but the true extent of his criminal network is still unknown. We need to be careful, Detective Harris warns. These people are dangerous. They won't hesitate to come after anyone who threatens them. Jason's eyes harden with determination. Then we'll take them down, too. One by one. Lisa nods, her expression fierce. We've come this far. We can't back down now. Anna looks up, her eyes filled with resolve. I'm in. Whatever it takes to bring them to justice. The next phase of our mission begins. We work closely with Agent Thomas and Detective Harris, delving deeper into Richard's network. Each new discovery reveals another layer of corruption, another name to be investigated. As we uncover more evidence, the danger grows. We're constantly looking over our shoulders, wary of retribution. But the sense of purpose drives us forward, uniting us in our quest for justice. One evening, As we're poring over documents, Jason receives a text. It's from an unknown number, and the message is chilling. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." He shows the message to the group, our resolve only strengthening. "They're scared," I say. "We're getting close." Lisa nods. "Let them come." We're not backing down. The threats become more frequent, but we refuse to be intimidated. We've come too far to turn back now. Each new piece of evidence is a step closer to dismantling the network that Richard built, a step closer to justice. Late one night, as we're working in the living room, there's a sudden noise outside. We freeze, hearts pounding. Jason moves to the window, peering out cautiously. "There's someone out there," he whispers. We arm ourselves with whatever we can find, ready to defend ourselves. The door bursts open, and a group of masked men rush in. Chaos erupts as we fight back, determined not to let them silence us. Amid the struggle, Anna manages to call Agent Thomas, her voice frantic. "We're under attack. Send help." Minutes feel like hours as we fend off our attackers. Just when it seems like we're overwhelmed, sirens blare outside, and Agent Thomas's team storms in, apprehending the intruders. "Are you all okay?" he asks, concern etched on his face. "We're fine," Jason says, breathless but unbroken. But this proves we're on the right track. They're desperate. Agent Thomas nods. "We'll increase security. But you need to stay vigilant. This is far from over." The attack only strengthens our resolve. We double down on our efforts, working tirelessly to bring every member of Richard's network to justice. The danger is real, but so is our determination. As the weeks pass, we make significant progress. High-profile arrests are made, and the media coverage intensifies. The public outcry grows, demanding accountability for the corruption that's been exposed. Through it all, our bond deepens. We've faced unimaginable betrayal and danger, but we've come out stronger. The fight for justice is far from over, but we're ready for whatever comes next. The day finally comes when we present our final evidence to the authorities. It's a moment of triumph, the culmination of months of hard work and sacrifice. As we watch the news coverage of the arrests and trials, there's a sense of closure, but also a recognition that this is just one battle in a larger war. "We did it," Jason says, his voice filled with pride. "We actually did it." I nod, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over me. We're not just victims anymore. We're fighters. And we won't stop until justice is served. As we raise our glasses in a toast to our victory, there's a shared understanding that we're more than just friends now. We're a family, bound by our shared struggle and determination to seek the truth. The road ahead may be uncertain, but we're ready to face it together. Because in the end, it's not just about revenge. It's about justice, about standing up for what's right, and about never giving up, no matter the odds. Never giving up, no matter the tension as we take our seats. The final trials are set to begin, and the weight of what we've achieved hangs heavily in the air. The stakes have never been higher, but our resolve is unwavering. We're here to see justice served, once and for all. Anna sits beside me, her hand trembling slightly. Jason and Lisa are on my other side, their expressions a mix of determination and anxiety. Carol is seated behind us, her presence a comforting reminder of why we're fighting. The judge enters, and the room falls silent. The trial of Richard and his associates is about to commence. As the prosecution lays out the evidence, it's clear that our efforts have paid off. The case against them is rock solid, built on months of painstaking investigation and undeniable proof. But as the trial progresses, a sense of unease begins to creep in. Richard, despite the overwhelming evidence, remains disturbingly calm. There's a smugness to his demeanor, as if he knows something we don't. The prosecution rests, and Richard's defense attorney rises. His argument is expectedly flimsy, grasping at straws, but there's an underlying confidence that's unsettling. When Richard takes the stand, his composure is unnerving. "You think you've won," he says, looking directly at us. but you have no idea what you've gotten yourselves into." His words send a chill down my spine, but I push the fear aside. We've come too far to be intimidated now. The trial concludes, and the jury deliberates. Hours pass, and the tension in the room is palpable. Finally, the foreman stands, delivering the verdict we've been waiting for. Guilty on all counts. A collective sigh of relief sweeps through the courtroom. Richard and his associates are led away in handcuffs, their expressions ranging from shock to rage. Justice has been served. As we leave the courthouse, there's a sense of victory, but also a lingering unease. Richard's words haunt me, a nagging feeling that something isn't right. We celebrate our hard-won victory, but I can't shake the feeling that the battle isn't truly over. A few weeks later, as life begins to settle into a semblance of normalcy, I receive an unexpected visit. Detective Harris is at my door, his expression grave. "Matt, we need to talk." I invite him in, my heart pounding. "What's going on?" "We've uncovered something," he says, handing me a file. It appears Richard had a contingency plan in place. He anticipated his arrest and set things in motion to ensure his network would survive without him. I opened the file, my eyes widening as I read the contents. It's a detailed plan outlining how his associates would continue their operations, with new leaders ready to step in. "How did we miss this?" I ask, feeling a sense of dread. "He was very careful," Harris replies. "But there's more. We believe someone within your circle has been feeding him information." The room spins, and I struggle to process his words. "Someone in our group?" "That's impossible." Harris shakes his head. "We have reason to believe otherwise. We need to find out who it is before they can cause more damage." The revelation is a devastating blow. Trust is shattered, and paranoia seeps into our group. We gather at Jason's house, the atmosphere tense and fraught with suspicion. "We need to figure out who the mole is," Jason says, his voice strained. "We can't let Richard's plan succeed." Anna looks around, her eyes filled with fear. "But how do we know who to trust?" Lisa nods, her expression grim. "We need to be careful. If we make the wrong move, it could all fall apart." As we discuss our next steps, there's a knock at the door. It's Agent Thomas, looking more serious than ever. "We've narrowed it down to a few suspects," he says, his gaze sweeping the room. "But we need your help to confirm." He hands out a list of names, each one sending a shock through our group. As we study the list, the weight of the situation sinks in. One of us is a traitor. The following days are a blur of tension and investigation. We work closely with Agent Thomas, carefully monitoring each other's actions and communications. It's a delicate balance, maintaining our unity while searching for the betrayer. One night, as we're reviewing documents, Jason receives a message on his phone. He pales as he reads it, then shows it to me. It's from an unknown number, but the message is clear. "I know what you're doing. Stop now, or you'll regret it." "We're getting close," I say, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. They're getting desperate. As we dig deeper, the pieces start to fall into place. Patterns emerge, pointing to a single individual. The realization is a gut punch, but there's no denying the evidence. "Lisa," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "It's you." She freezes, her eyes wide with shock. "What?" "No, it can't be." But the evidence is irrefutable. It can't be. Communications, all leading back to her. Blow. Knife to the heart. "Why?" Jason asks, his voice filled with anguish. "How could you do this?" Tears stream down Lisa's face. "I didn't have a choice. Richard threatened my family. I thought I could help you and protect them, but it got out of control." The room is silent, the weight of her confession hanging heavily in the air. Finally, Agent Thomas steps forward, his expression a mix of sympathy and resolve. "We'll take it from here," he says, leading Lisa away. The aftermath is a whirlwind of emotions. betrayal, relief, and a lingering sense of unease. We've won the battle, but at a great cost. Trust is a fragile thing, and ours has been shattered. As we gather one last time, there's a sense of closure, but also of loss. We've fought hard and achieved justice, but the scars remain. We've come through the fire, Jason says, his voice filled with a quiet strength. And we'll keep fighting, no matter what. Anna nods, her expression resolute. We're stronger together. And we won't let them win. As we raise our glasses in a final toast, there's a sense of unity, a bond forged in the crucible of our struggle. We've faced betrayal and danger, but we've emerged stronger. The road ahead is uncertain, but we're ready to face it together. Because in the end, it's not just about justice. It's about standing up for what's right, about never giving up, and about finding strength in each other, no matter the odds. And as we step into the future, we know that whatever comes our way, we'll face it together, united and unbroken.